Good evening, people, and welcome back. Welcome back to True Gunners TV. Yes, we've got an exciting one for you tonight. We are going to be talking Arsenal, of course. We're going to be talking Tottenham, and we are going to be talking transfers. But before we get into all of that, make sure you lot are smashing up them likes. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And welcome as well to all the new subscribers. Welcome to all the new viewers. This one is going to be exciting. I am ready to get into this debate. And of course, I had to bring a special guest. Of course, I had to bring my guy, Degimondo. How we doing, Deg?
Yes, Brandon. Thank you, my bro. Hey, everyone, make sure you smash a like. I'm excited to be here. Because, you know, man's had a rest, Brandon. Do you know what I mean? I've forgotten about last season, and I'm just looking forward to the new season already. And I guess, yeah, it's good to be here. And, you know, what makes me happy is that both our clubs are kind of leading the way in the transfer market. Look, I said a lot at the beginning of the last season. I'm not going to say too much now, but yeah, it's looking all right still. And I feel refreshed. It's going to be a big year in terms of content, the debates, the kind of shows. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, and I'm slowly getting ready for the season to start.
And the debates are going to kick off right here, Dej, because I've got some controversial opinions that I'm going to share with you and the viewers. The viewers, right? The topics we're going to be talking about today, of course, transfer market. You know, it's the only place to be, you know, talking about at the moment. It's the place that everybody is interested in. And like Dej said, Arsenal and Tottenham are leading the way. You know, Arsenal and Tottenham are doing the most business at this moment in time. You know, when you look at the transfers, all you guys that are clicked on the video and seen the thumbnail, Tottenham so far have signed 3 players. Arsenal have almost signed 3 players. Of course, as well, you know, like the big stuff happening at the beginning of the window. William Saliba signing a new deal for Arsenal. Postecoglou becoming Tottenham's new manager. Now I know Dej had a few things to say about that last time, and we're gonna discuss that a little bit. But the first one that I want to talk about, and this is a controversial one, so people get in the comments section and let me know how you feel about this one. And look, we're going to rate each other's transfer window. And when I say transfer window, I don't mean transfer window as a whole, because of course the transfer window is not over yet. It's not done. But we are going to rate each other's signings. So Deji is going to rate the Arsenal signings, and I am going to rate the Tottenham signings out of 10. And we're going to start with James Maddison and Kai Havertz. Now, the reason I've put them in a boxing ring is because it's like, you know, Tottenham, Arsenal. I don't know why, you know, it's kind of flipped around, because surely I should be in the red corner, Deji in the blue corner, but we'll just go with it for now. I'm in the blue corner, Deji's in the red corner. Well, switch it around. Maybe I could switch it around here. Let me see if I can try and do that. Nah, we'll leave it as it is. We'll leave it as it is. So, Arsenal spending £65 million on Kai Havertz, offered him a long-term contract. That deal is done and complete and over the line. It has been announced by Arsenal. £210,000 per week, reportedly. What do you make of the signing, Dej? Because this is one that no Arsenal fan expected. I don't think any football fan in the world expected Arsenal to, go out and buy Kai Havertz as their first signing in such a major transfer window for him. So what's your thoughts on Kai Havertz to Arsenal, Dej?
Do you know what? When I saw that you guys got Kai Havertz, I thought, you know what? Has Arteta seen something that we all haven't seen? And so for me at the moment, it's an interesting signing. I'm not going to lie to you. Kai Havertz in the Euros, if you remember, he was doing some bits for Germany. Do you know what I mean? He was banging in goals. He was coming off the number 10, going wide, and he was a terror. But let's be real also, since Kai Havertz has been in the Premier League, he ain't really lived up to his price tag. I'm surprised you guys spent 65 mil on Kai Havertz because his performances is more akin to 25 mil, let's just be honest. But typical Arsenal paying over the odds for players. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this. I'm assuming, and I'm actually giving Arteta the benefit of the doubt, I'm assuming he's seen something that no one else has seen. Because if Kai Havertz has come, I can't see where he fits in, because if he's going to play that number 10, that's Odegaard's position. Is he better than Odegaard? No, he's not. Is he a number 9? Not really. Is he coming to displace Jesus? Is he going to come on the wing? No, he's not, is he really? Because I don't see him displacing Martinelli. I don't see him displacing Saka. So it's an enigma for me. It's an odd one. I think if he has this maybe false number 9, maybe that's what he's thinking, Arteta, false 9 kind of play. If it works out, it's a genius signing. But I'm going to have to say that, Arteta's taken a big risk. And with 65 mil for a player that's barely scored 10 goals in the Premier League last season, I was quite surprised. And I did kind of laugh. I mean, typical Arsenal. And it's funny because people try and put up Kai Havertz and Maddison. There's no competition there. Maddison, you know what he's about. You know what he's been doing for Leicester City. He should have been at a bigger club a long time ago. What I think made me laugh though, Brandon, I'm not going to lie. Let's just be real. Kai Havertz is one of the last players that you would have thought you would have signed or you thought to see in a red shirt. And all I've seen online is Arsenal fans starting all over again, shaking their bums for Kai Havertz. But you are the same people last season who said he was crap. So I don't get it. I'm not going to lie. But it's an interesting one, and it's one that I'm going to keep a close eye on.
Okay. Let me just, because obviously the people that follow the channel obviously know my thoughts on the whole Kai Havertz thing. So I'm not sure if you've been following, Dej, but because you maybe haven't, I'll give my thoughts right now, and then you can rate the Kai Havertz signing out of 10. So originally, when the whole Kai Havertz thing came out, I was like, really? We're going to start our transfer window signing Kai Havertz, a player who, has been very underwhelming at Chelsea in the 3 years that he's been there. A lot of Chelsea fans can't wait to see the back of the guy. So it's a very, very strange one for me, and then of course the reports have started coming out, and it's like Chelsea want £70 million, and I'm thinking they're on drugs. They must be on drugs. Todd Bowley must be on some sort of, I don't know what kind of drugs they have out there over in America, but he must have been snorting some powder or something, because he wants £70 million for Kai Havertz, who cost them £70 million and has had 3 very average / poor seasons at Chelsea. So, originally when it came out, I was extremely, annoyed about it. But then now that I've sort of sat there, thought about it, I don't know, I look at it and I feel the same way as you, Dej. I think that Mikel Arteta is the one that's pushed for this signing. That's what we're hearing anyway. Mikel Arteta is the one who was pushed for this signing. He was the one who convinced the board members that Kai Havertz is a worthwhile deal to go get done. even at £65 million. He sees something in Kai Havertz. And the thing that I'm kind of holding on to a little bit is the fact that every single attacking player that has gone to Chelsea over the past 3 years for a big fee and a big amount of money has died a quick death. You know, you look at Ziyech, you look at Pulisic, Sterling, Lukaku, Havertz. You could go on and on. Every single one of them has majorly underperformed compared to what we've seen from them at previous clubs. So I'm kind of clinging on to that a little bit. But now, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I don't know what Kai Havertz's best position is. I don't know where Mikel Arteta is looking to play him. And it's kind of made the transfer a bit more exciting because it's intriguing to kind of feel like, I don't know, you know, it's a massive risk from Arsenal to spend that sort of money on a player like Kai Havertz who hasn't hit the heights. And I kind of respect it at the same time because the club must know how much of an important transfer window it is for us, you know, knowing that we got ourselves into a title race last season and the fan base as a whole are going to expect that again this season and better. So to make Kai Havertz the first signing is kind of confusing, but I respect it in a way at the same time because rather than Arsenal going out there and doing the typical thing that everybody expects, they're taking a little bit of a risk. And like you say, Dej, if it comes off, he's going to look like a genius. If it doesn't work out, then accountability is going to have to come in. But I don't know. I just got this sneaky feeling that Kai Havertz is going to be a good signing for Arsenal. I really do. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't have a clue why I feel this way, but I do genuinely believe that Kai Havertz, in the system that we play, will come in and show something at Arsenal, you know? And there's rumours around that he's not even been brought in to play the false nine. He's been brought in to play the number 10/number 8 role, you know, the kind of the Xhaka/Odegaard role. And when you look at last season and the way that we dominated teams, like the smaller teams in terms of possession and the ball, you can kind of afford to play two attack-minded midfielders in and around that area with 1-6 behind them. It's against the bigger teams where it becomes a problem and you can get exposed. But I genuinely can, and this is coming from me, Dej. You know what I'm like. I'm very critical over the club.
Yeah.
But I genuinely feel that Kai Havertz, you look at Granit Xhaka's goal contributions for Arsenal last season. He scored 7 goals, I think, or 8 goals.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz gets himself in some very good positions. He just lacks in the finishing ability. Well, and I feel like that's something that Mikel Arteta could coach into him. And I could see him scoring between 10 and 15 goals for Arsenal in that role. I really can.
Brandon, I'm not being sorry to cut you, my bro. I know that the season's been gone about 3 or 4 weeks, but where is Brandon? Where is True Gunner TV gone? Because right now, I hear what you're saying, but it sounds like you drank from the same well as all the other Arsenal fans. Because when you peel it back, you said a couple of things. You said you're kind of excited that Arsenal took a risk, and you know something's making you feel like Kai Havertz might be the one. The truth is, Kai Havertz in the Premier League has been a dud. There should be nothing exciting you about the signing.
Oh, no. I 100% agree with you.
It's an interesting one because that's why I'm saying to you, maybe Arteta's seen something we ain't seen, because you shouldn't really be spending more than 25 mil. Based on his performances since he's arrived, you shouldn't be spending more than 30 mil max on Kai Havertz. You spent 65 mil. 65 mil is an informed midfielder or an informed striker or whatever it is. Because let's be real, 65 mil, we got Maddison for 40 mil and he's in better form than Havertz. Let's just be real. And Havertz, I don't think, if he stayed at Chelsea, I don't think he starts. I think he's on the bench. And that's part of the reason why Chelsea sold him. With the players that Poch has at his disposal, they needed to get rid of, and that's what they're doing. They're getting rid of players. Look, I see the optimism. I think the fact is we all do it as fans. We're getting ready. The players come back to pre-season training next week. We're getting excited. We've seen the new shirts and we're starting to shake our bums a bit. But when you take a step back, I'm looking at this like another Jorginho. Was Jorginho a successful signing? Be honest, Brandon.
It's a different type of...
Was Jorginho a successful signing in Jan for you guys? Because I've had Arsenal fans shaking their thumbs.
No, you're right.
Yes,
you would argue no. You would argue no because we should have won the league. He should have.
No, not even about the league. Based on his playing, based on what he did since he arrived in Jan, forget about the league. Were you happy with Jorginho?
I was never happy with the Jorginho signing. No.
But based on his performances, we can safely say you're not happy with it.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that this brother's no different to Jorginho?
Well, of course he is.
They're both as whack as each other, based on performances.
Yeah, so based on performances for Chelsea, right? Based on performances for Chelsea. I'm not saying that Jorginho came in and hit the heights for Arsenal or anything like that, because as I just stated, I weren't happy with that sign and I weren't happy with his performances and the level that he showed us. But you got to look at an example for it. Like, for example, Jorginho's at the back end of his career. He's in his 30s. Kai Havertz is still 24 years old, And not only that, Mikel Arteta works better with attacking players. Do you know what I mean? Look at what he's got out of Saka. Look at what he's getting out of Jesus. Look at what he's even getting out of Martin Odegaard. You know what I mean? And I look at the way that Kai Havertz plays and the potential that he has. Like I said, Granit Xhaka, 7 goals last season. I think Kai Havertz scores more than Granit Xhaka in that role. Look at how far forward that role for Granit Xhaka allowed Granit Xhaka to play up the pitch. And I just feel like a player like Kai Havertz, not the strongest of players. And like I say, from a defensive aspect, it's a little bit worrying. But from an attacking point of view, I don't see why Arteta couldn't coach him into getting out of him what we saw from Kai Havertz at Bayern Leverkusen.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking, bro, on the level, when I watched Kai Havertz at Chelsea, this brother is missing the goal in the 6-yard box. So when you say he's going to be taking over Xhaka and he's more likely, he gets in positions, yes, he does, but he misses. Do you know what I'm saying? Man misses. And what you're saying is somehow Arteta's going to sprinkle some magic dust on his football boots, and the shots that he misses, he starts to convert. And that is what I'm saying is going to be interesting, because for me, I just can't see why you would pay 65 mil for Havertz, but I am intrigued.
Okay, let me ask.
But what I don't want is Arsenal fans.
Let me ask you this.
Concocting some sort of potion for someone that we know is shit.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you were saying about sprinkling some magic dust on his boots that's automatically going to, make him give us more goal contributions. Yeah. Since Arteta's come in, can we agree that Bukayo Saka's goal contributions, assists and goals have gone up?
Yeah, but is that down to Arteta though?
Can we agree that Martinelli's goal contributions have gone up?
Yeah.
And Martin Odegaard's goal contributions have gone up.
Yeah.
So it shows, that he can coach a player into.
You know why?
Go on.
Because I would argue that even under you, Brandon, Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard contributions will go up, because that's the natural nutrition in the Premier League. Once you're a Premier League player, they are gradually getting into the form, into the age bracket where they're going to get into their prime. I think how old is Saka?
Saka's what, 21?
21. So
Martinelli's 21. But this is the point though, Dej, that I'm making. Kai Havertz is only 24 years old.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. It's not like we're signing a player that's like in his 30s or anything like that. And I'm not dismissing the fact that he's had 3 very average / poor seasons at Chelsea. But if you look at the players at Chelsea, and like I said earlier, the attackers that Chelsea have bought, every single one of them, you cannot name me an attacking player at Chelsea that has performed at the heights that we have seen from them in previous clubs. You could even add Timo Werner into that. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like there's obviously something there. You know, there's obviously a player in Kai Havertz. Otherwise, I don't feel like Mikel Arteta would have pushed to go out and get him for £65 million. And he's seen something and he feels like it's a player that he can work with. But what I like more about this, not just the Kai Havertz thing, but the Declan Rice thing and, you know, everything else, is I can now judge the manager based off of his decisions. There's nothing worse. And you know this from experience as well, Dej, right? You know, at Tottenham. There's nothing worse than a manager being given a player that he doesn't want and he cannot work with.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta has said, I can work with Kai Havertz. I want Kai Havertz. I want you to go out and spend £65 million on him. Go and get him. Do what you need to. Go and get Declan Rice. Go and get this player. So now, if these signings work, then we can all sit here and go, well done, mate. You're a genius. Yeah. If they don't work, then the rest of the fan base has to wake up and become very, very much like me in Northside and say, look, he's got what he wanted. It hasn't worked out. So you have to move him on and you have to sack the guy. It's as simple as that. So that's why I'm looking on this signing. And yeah, it's not one that excites me. It never has been one that excites me. But what I mean by it excites me is the whole aspect of the intriguement behind it. Because it's like, I don't see how this is going to work. But, you know, maybe if it does. And I'm telling you now, right? I'm going to say something completely controversially and you're going to lose your head.
Yeah.
If Arteta can get Kai Havertz playing, and if Arteta can get Kai Havertz,
don't bother.
If Arteta can get Kai Havertz,
don't waste your time
playing and working in this system, I believe he will score more goals than James Maddison next season.
Probably, maybe, but I don't think that's because of the system. I think maybe because I'm at the moment there's a lot of unknowns at Spurs. Skills, I don't know what you're talking about. Deluded Dej for a reason, mate. You must be deluded. Actually, what is better deal? Mount to Man U or Havertz to Arsenal? They're both crap, to be honest. I don't get either of them. Mount, I don't know what Mount's going to do at United. Havertz, I don't know what Havertz is going to do at Arsenal. What I am saying, though, is it is interesting, but I don't buy it at the moment. I hear what Brandon's saying, and I feel like, you know, for me, what I like to see with Arsenal fans is I want you to just stick to your guns. The truth of the matter is, if Kai Havertz went to United, you would have said he's shit. That's just the truth. If you guys got Mason Mount, all of a sudden, you guys would be shaking your bum. It's interesting. He's going to get more goals than the same stuff that's coming out of your mouth, Brandon. You would be spouting the same thing if Mason Mount came to Arsenal. I'm not sure is the truth. I think it's an interesting buy. He is a name. Kai Havertz is a name still. Whether he can live up to that name, I've seen nothing to suggest that he's going to score more goals than Maddison. I don't think so. I think you'd be bitterly disappointed, mate. I mean, Jesus was supposed to get double figures. May I remind you, Brandon? He's going to easily get 15 goals. Yeah, 15. Where were the 15 goals?
That was never going to happen. I,
Where
wa-
was
I was I was always
you know what
one.
I'm saying?
I was always an Arsenal fan who was skeptical about these fans that say that Jesus was going to all of a sudden come in and score us 20 goals a season. I knew that was never going to happen. That's never been Jesus's game. All I'm saying
I'm
is
just
if
saying
Mikel Arteta,
he kind of produced what he produced at City, and he
exactly,
was the main man at your club.
yeah,
Just
and
saying.
all I'm saying is if Mikel Arteta can find Kai Havertz a position within this system and within this squad and get him firing, I don't see why we can't see the best of him. But based off of that, right, because we're rating each other's signings, so we're going to talk about Maddison in just a second.
Yeah, yeah.
From your perspective, what would you
Man,
rate the Kai Havertz
yeah.
signing to Arsenal?
So Kai Havertz signing to Arsenal, I think if we're real, 5 out of 10. It's a 5
Okay.
out of 10 because I don't. You're only Arsenal fans are only shaking their bum because he arrived, but he's not the sort of player you were looking forward to before the season. Declan Rice, however, that's a different kettle of fish. You get that over the line, that's an 8. That's an 8
And
and a half.
we'll talk about that one in a bit. We'll
Out of
talk
10.
about that one in a bit.
But
I'm surprised.
Havertz is an underwhelming signing for me for Arsenal. I think Kai Havertz to Arsenal is on par with the bloody goalkeeper that we got, whose name I've forgotten because it was so underwhelming. I ain't even bothered to look it up. Kai Havertz is on par with that.
Okay. James Maddison. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my thoughts on James Maddison. Quality player. You know, the standout player for Leicester, and he has been for the last few seasons. I'm surprised there weren't more clubs in for James Maddison, considering Tottenham only got him for £40 million, which looks, you know, in this day and age and in this transfer market, the way that, you know, you're seeing players go for ridiculous amount of money. I'm surprised, you know, that with being able to get James Maddison for £40 million, there weren't more clubs interested in him. I know Newcastle was one that held an interest, but they never actually really went in for him. And I believe as well that if Tottenham can keep hold of Harry Kane, and we will talk about that again later as well, and Son, and of course we're going to talk about Kulusevski as well because he's now signed on a permanent deal. If they can keep that front three and keep Harry Kane there as well, Maddison, mate, I think he's the perfect signing for Tottenham and what they need in that midfield right now. You know, you look at the way that Harry Kane plays for Tottenham at the moment, and he's getting 30 odd goals a season, and he's coming deep for the ball. You know, he's the one who's creating as well and doing all of that. Imagine what it will be like when you've got somebody like James Maddison supplying Harry Kane and Son and Kulusevski and coming up with goals as well. You know, so I think that this is a very, very good signing by Tottenham. However, having said that, I have to, and Dej, you might not agree with me. You may agree with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to kind of question James Maddison's mentality a little bit, because if you've got the opportunity to go and sign for Newcastle, who are in the Champions League, they're going to be the up and coming next Manchester City. Let's just be real with it. You know, they've got the Saudi owners. And then you choose to go to Tottenham, who, if we're being real with it, are at the beginning of a process again, you know, with a new manager. Nobody really knows, you know, what kind of style of they know the style of play that he's going to play. But what I'm saying is the project that Tottenham are currently under at the moment is going to take a little bit of time before Tottenham are anywhere near, you know, where they were with Poch, where they was actually competing, you know, for a league title. So, you know, I think you're looking at 3 or 4 seasons. By that point, James Maddison is what, 26? So by that point, you know, he's reaching his late 20s, early 30s.
Nah, don't say that, bro. I think you've been smoking the same bush that Mohamed Zishan's been smoking in the chat. You and Mohamed Zishan's been smoking. Look, let me tell you what it is. Tottenham's team is not bad. The issue we had was that the management and the style of play was poor. You know that. The thing that we need to sort out, you just said Kane scored 30 goals. He did that without without an attacking midfielder supplying him one. And Tottenham, I think, if my memory serves me right, were about the fourth highest goal scorers last season after Arsenal and Man City. I think there was another club in there. So if we're banging in goals like that without an attacking midfielder, the only way is up, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to take too long. Look, I'm not getting gassed by Postecoglou, but what I can say is that James Maddison is the right buy. We needed a replacement for Eriksen. You lot know what Maddison's about in that Leicester team. Free kicks, through balls. And he's going to do the same at Spurs. What's going to be interesting is who drops out of the attack. Because this new system is 4-3-3. We can't play Son, Maddison, Kulusevski, and Kane. And we've got Richarlison. It is mad. However, let's see what happens. But I think Maddison can cook in this team. Remember, he was feeding Jamie Vardy. Harry Kane is a different kettle of fish. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, and Son, remember, Son could come back. Son, we've now found out, was playing with a groin injury for pretty much the whole season. He's going to be fresh like a daisy, wanting to make amends for last season. He's not just feeding one striker. He is feeding 4 beasts on their day. It's not for any defense. Yeah, Son is a beast. Kane's a beast.
Yeah.
Kulusevski had a poor season last season, but
I
know what he's capable of. And Richarlison on his day, he's a handful. True or false? I don't even know what you're...
You haven't just mentioned Richarlison in that, have you?
Richarlison is a bad man. Don't get it twisted.
Richarlison scored 1 goal.
There's a reason why Richarlison starts for Brazil.
Oh dear! Oh, I do love you, Dej. I do love you, mate.
I'm just saying. Richarlison starts over your lad all day, every day. True or false?
Which lad?
Jesus.
What, in the Brazil squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brazil, bro.
No,
I don't care about that.
Don't do that.
Okay.
He starts because the Brazilian manager considers Richarlison a better striker than Jesus. You play your strongest 11, true or false?
Yeah, true.
So there we go. And your boy being the main man at Arsenal, your boy being the main man, he couldn't even give us double figures.
No, that's right.
He couldn't give us 10 goals.
But guess what? He still had a better season than Richarlison.
Yeah, but be honest. No, listen to this though. Listen, because people make these little sweeping statements, very, very lazy statements. Let me remind you, the main man at Tottenham is Kane. Richarlison was having to sit on the bench and bide his time. Jesus is the man at Arsenal. There you go.
Jesus also had a 3 month.
Richarlison ain't the main man at Tottenham, my brother. Let's be real. He's one of the side men. But Jesus is the main guy at your club. And he ain't doing nothing. And then you want to come and tell me that you guys spent 65 million on a player that is just like Jesus. That's the truth. Havertz is just like Jesus, my bro. Rubbish.
Mate. I don't know if people in the comments and people that are viewing are picked up on this, but Deji just said in the space of a couple of sentences that Richarlison is a beast, and then a couple of sentences later said he's a sideman. So which one is he, Dej?
No, let me tell you one thing, because I know Mohamed Jesus, who's smoking hella bush right now in his yard, said something similar. For me, you know that it takes some players time to settle down. So I don't want anyone judging Richarlison on last season. I don't want anyone judging Bissouma on last season. Judge him now. If Richarlison doesn't step up this season, then even I will put my hand up and say he's rubbish. The same for Basuma, especially because we were playing a defensive system. You guys were doing this kind of flying attack. But what I'm not going to have is that all of a sudden that these guys ain't ballers. When Richarlison starts in the Brazilian team, come on.
Hey,
let's just be real.
Kai Havertz starts in the Germany team, mate. So what are you saying?
The German team is rubbish. This is not Germany that beat Brazil 7-1. This German team is dusty. You know, like cobwebs in the wardrobe. This German team is dead food. The only decent player in that German team right now, well, there's two. There's Kimmich and your lad that you guys sold, Gnabry. They're the only two legit players in that German team. Everyone else is rubbish. Who else is there? Rudiger. I'm just saying.
Okay. We kind of swooped off topic there, so we're gonna go back to Maddison. I'm gonna rate James Maddison.
Maddison's a bad man. Yeah, rate him, please. Rate him.
To Tottenham. I think that is a 8 out of 10 signing for Tottenham.
You're legit, man.
Definitely 8 out of 10 signing for Tottenham. He has the potential to change the way that they attack completely. I mean,
bro, you know we didn't score one free kick last season. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying about your attack, right? And we're going to touch on Harry Kane later, but bringing in James Maddison kind of frees up the loss that you would get from losing Harry Kane. And don't get me wrong, you're going to lose a lot of goals if you lose Harry Kane. But the point that you was making is, like with Richarlison, for example, you've got Richarlison there, you've got Son there, you've got Kulusevski there, you've got James Maddison there. So if worst case scenario for Tottenham, they lost Harry Kane, they wouldn't be losing they'd be losing a goal scorer and a creator. But now they've got a creator in their team in James Maddison. So they've not lost the creative side of it, and they've just got to get the best out of Richarlison for it to not affect them as much as what it would do, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Do you know what?
So,
it's a tough one. So, Brandon, I've got a lot of people saying you should read out the comments, bro. So read out the comments. I see the comments. Brandon's seen the comments. Brandon, you got to read out the comments with the people. Them. Everyone smash a like and subscribe. We're going to get Brandon to read the comments in just a sec. What I will say is this. And one thing I respect you for, and I respect everyone in the chat because I know you guys share the same opinion as my guy here, Brandon. Kane is a world-class striker, bro. And I don't think... For me, I actually wanted to see Kane go this season because I just want to get over the pain from now and see if we can unearth a gem. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for me right now, I would like Tottenham to go in for a Brojan. I think he's got a lot of potential. Or that Ferguson kid that at Brighton, something of that kind of ilk where we just start again and we build someone up because Kane is like, it's going to be like a black hole, mate. So James Maddison doesn't even, I don't even think Maddison does anything, bro. Because if the striker is like a Kai Havertz, what difference does it make?
Why are you dissing Kai Havertz, mate?
I'm just saying, bro.
You wait. We'll come back
to
like
Kai Havertz. It don't matter if you've got Maddison. It don't matter if you've got Vinicius Jr. It don't matter if you've got Kevin De Bruyne. When you got people like Kai Havertz up top, it don't mean jack. That's what it is.
We're going to come back to this stream when Kai Havertz outscores James Maddison.
That's not going to happen.
We will. We'll come back. Anyway, I'll read out a few comments and then we'll move on to the next subject because we want to kind of keep it flowing a little bit, keep the man them that are watching happy. So keep getting your comments in. Make sure you liking, make sure you're subscribing. Gunamick here says a keeper no one has heard of, Kulu, who did absolutely nothing last season, and Maddison, who apparently hates Spurs. Did you see the tweets from Maddison, by the way?
Yeah,
I know it was years ago.
I saw the tweets, and he's a waste man for them tweets, isn't it? But do you know what? Funny enough, if you listen to his interview, I was kind of watching it before I came on the stream tonight. He's gassed to be at Tottenham. Like, like usually players, they give you that kind of spiel. I love the club. He's not even coming with that talk. He's just happy that he's at a big club. Do you know what I mean? He respects the thing that Tottenham are doing. He knows he's come to join a big team. He knows Harry Kane is in front of him. And he's thinking to himself, nah, you know what? I thought they were dusty, but actually when you deep it and you take a step back, this team has something. When you look at the players, bro, remember Bentancur was out pretty much the whole season. You ain't seen the best of Basuma. Just those two brothers. We don't need to buy a centre midfielder, bro. Them man are all right. Kulusevski, Son, Kane, Maddison. Come on, bro. Where our weaknesses is centre backs. If we can get 2 centre backs, decent ones, and I'm talking Saliba type quality. Or even your Dusty Gabriel. I don't know why you don't like him so much. But even a Dusty Gabriel, if we could get someone like that to partner Romero, it's long. It's long. We've actually got an all right team.
Instead, though, it looks like you're going to sign up Dyer to a new contract by the sounds of things.
If we sign Eric Dyer to a new contract, then Daniel Levy should stand in front of the pearly gates of Hades. He should go to Hades and suck himself if he gives this brother another contract.
There was even some reports about Harry Maguire coming in at some point as well, weren't there? I was shocked by that, right? And the reason why I was shocked by that was because you'd already employed Postecoglou by then. I thought if you're going to be bringing in Harry Maguire and having a centre-back partnership of Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer, there's only one manager that can work with that, and that's Southgate. So I was like, what's going on here? But them rumours seem to have died quick.
It was fake news, man. Donald Trump, you know what I mean? Fake news.
But anyway, Mohammed says, let's get that straight. After Rice, Havertz, Timber, we still need 2 signings, a wide forward to compete with Saka and a midfielder. I don't disagree with you, bro. I don't disagree with you at all.
People naming Timber like he's Humbola. We did not know Timber a week ago. Who is this Timber, bro? This is like McQuinos. This is like, is it Kivior or whatever his name is? Don't do it. Don't be taking us. Don't be pretending like this brother is a baller, because he's not.
No. He's nothing like a Kivior or a Marquinhos. He's a known player. He is a known player. He was part of the bloody squad that Eric Ten Hag got to the Champions League semi against Tottenham.
Boy, I don't know about no Dusty.
He's a decent player. He's a decent player. He would do a decent job for us.
So where's he going to play? Where's he going to play?
Well, I think he's coming in as more of like not a squad rotational player, but somebody who can kind of fight Ben White for his position, but also that means because Ben White can play centre back and right back. Timber can play centre back and right back. So the versatility allows us to, be able to move Rob Holding on, so that if we get any sort of injuries to Saliba or Gabriel, which the injury to Saliba last season was a big hit for us, and that's part of the reason why we didn't win the league.
What?
So,
sorry, bro, the people in the chat, they're not legit, These people are telling me, they're telling me that because Man U tried to sign Timber, yeah, and what? Bloody hell, Eric Ten Hag tried to bring the whole of that bloody league to England. I'm not having it. Don't be telling me because Man U just bought Mason Mount. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. So Man U having an interest in Timber, I don't care if they want Wood. How about that? I don't give a damn if they want Wood. If Man U come in, that don't make it legit. If it was Sir Alex Ferguson times now, then there must be a player there. Ten Hag, are you joking? You man are crazy. Tonight, the whole chat is smoking bush. The bush that is coming out of Mohammed Zishan's house. You get me?
Natster, big up Natster. He says, "I rate Maddison, but let's be real, he won't win anything at Tottenham until he leaves. Dej. It's the history of the Tottenham." Wax here, big up Wax, says Jesus was out for about 4 months. You have to bear that in mind. That's true. He was out for about 4 months.
Don't give a damn.
Let's get to.
He didn't score 10 goals. He played enough games to hit 10. Come on.
Let's go to. Oh, hang on. Common Ugunas 11 Raps says this brother still owes what? Boots and Gunner King.
Yeah. Hey, don't watch that. Don't watch that. I'll be doing a stream before the season starts. I'll be patterning Gunner King. I'll be patterning Boots. That one there is legit. Before the season starts, man has to pattern that. So it's calm. So don't think man is just coming on the stream and forgetting about last season. Nah. I'll be reaching out to Gunner King and I'll be reaching out to Boots just before the season starts. So we squash that and then we move on with the new bets for the new season.
Okay. Wax says Jesus actually got 17 goals and assists in 26 games and he had 4 months out injured. And that is true, by the way. That is true. So all this.
How many of those was in the Europa League?
How many goals in the Europa League?
I mean, how many goals in the cup? To be honest, I mean, you got most of those in the cup, surely.
In the cups?
Yeah.
We weren't in any cups.
Okay.
We went out of the FA Cup early. We went out of the League Cup at a fairly early stage as well. And the Europa League, we couldn't make it past Sporting. So
17 goals and assists in 26 games.
Yeah, so 17 goal contributions, isn't it?
Okay, fair enough.
Deji says, Fuad says, Deji, I agree with you. You must give them a season. So that's obviously about, Richarlison and Basuma and whoever else. I'll read out one more comment and then we'll get back to the topics. Let me see. Highbury's local badger says, Havertz will be the end of Arteta's career. Just my opinion. He is crap. I hope that Fuad proves me wrong. I won't stop saying Kroenke's out until he gives me Mbappe and Frankie de Jong. I only want the best. Jesus. Well, we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm on the same page as you, Highbury's local badger. If these signings don't work out, I will call it out. I will call it out. And that's the best thing about it. Nobody can make any more excuses for Mikel Arteta anymore. Because if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then I'm sorry. You have to be held accountable. Right, so that's the James Maddison and Kai Havertz out of the way. Do we even want to talk about this guy?
No,
we move on from that one. We just move on from that one.
I'm pissed because Tottenham had the opportunity to get Raya and we brought in this Vicario. And the reason why I'm pissed by it is because we brought in another Italian before called Pergolo or whatever his name from Fiorentina. He happened to be absolutely rubbish. And instead of paying the 40 million, because Forster for me is like a bloody fridge. He can't bend down any hard and low shots and it's going in. And we've gone and brought the Empoli goalkeeper. Nobody knows. Vicarious liability. That's what we went and bought in. A vicarious. It's going to be other people's fault, but really it's his fault. Vicarious liability. Mate, it's a disaster. Spurs don't want to spend 40 mil on the goalkeeper that is going to be your number one for the next 10 years. We've gone and spent 20 mil. Now, I'm hoping the only thing, just quickly, to justify this signing is if it's a Postecoglou signing. Because right now, the one thing I have noticed, and I did say it to you, Brandon, that Tottenham needed to decide that we were a no man's land. We're not ready to spend big like the big boys, and then we're not ready to take risk on players who may turn out to be decent. And I reminded you, remember the Matomas, the Concedos of this world. I'm seeing Tottenham going in cheap. Could this keeper be like the Brighton keeper still? Because he came out of nowhere and he's a ball playing kind of guy. He's similar, apparently, always on the front foot, got distribution a little bit like Edison. I've not bothered to watch any vids. From the ones I've seen, he just looks like a dusty, normal goalkeeper. I'm not going to lie to you. However, a little bit like the Kai Havertz, I would like to be proved wrong. But I'm not excited about this goalkeeper. I think Tottenham should have been more ambitious. I was looking at 2 goalkeepers, Raya or Onana. If you're not bringing in that, I would even take Mendy, to be honest. I need legit people that we know can do a thing. This brother, big boy risk, and it could be a disaster.
Nah, you just got to trust the process, Dej. Trust the process. Trust your manager.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Postecoglou in the first place, so it's very hard to trust the process when you don't even trust the manager.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I mean, if you wanted a cheap goalkeeper, we got Runnison that's available. You know, £1 million. They could have maybe saved themselves a bit of money.
You know what? There's a keeper who needs to be ambitious. The Liverpool backup keeper. I don't know. He's Irish. Huh? The Irish one. Is that his name?
No.
Irish. He's actually quite good.
I can't remember his name.
He deserves to be a number 1. I would have taken a punt on him because he's actually a decent keeper. Not Vicario. Fucking hell, what is this? Narcos or something? No.
Okay. Let's talk. But I don't want to go on to the big one just yet because obviously we've got to save a little bit of a segment for that one. Let's talk about this one. Kulusevski signed on a permanent deal at Tottenham. It was always going to be expected to happen. You had that deal in place already. However, this just shows where Tottenham Hotspur are at. Even though they'd already agreed a fee, they went back in there again to get that fee down and renegotiate. Like, what's all that about, Dej?
We're not a serious team, to be honest with you. We're not serious. Look at Arsenal. Even though I think you paid over the odds, sometimes if you want someone, you just pay the asking price. You don't go into JD Sports, pick up a pair of night trainers that cost 180 quid, go to the till and say, can I have it for 110? They will just look at you and tell you to get out the shop. And that's what Tottenham do. And I don't know why Levy does it. He's a cheapskate. And actually, it feeds into the player because you're telling that player, I don't think you're worth that amount of money. And so when they start to perform, I'm of the opinion, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, to be honest. And if you want to go around degrading these players the way that Levy does, then you can't be upset when they don't perform to the high standards. In the first season, Kulusevski was doing bits for us. I think the injury kind of affected him last season and he kind of lost form, but also the system just didn't work. Apparently under Postecoglou, it's literally like bloody watching the Mighty Ducks. Everyone's flying forward, even the back line. So hopefully we see the old Kulusevski, the Kulusevski that came in and got us to the Champions League. So, yeah, but the fact that Levy's knocking down the price, he's a disgrace, to be honest. He's got nothing. That's not something to be proud of.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, because we've got about 7 minutes left, that'll take us to an hour. I know you've got to get out of here, Dej, because you've had a long day, bro. So we'll wrap it up with the big one. The big one, Declan Rice to Arsenal. It looks like the deal is going to be complete within the next couple of days. Arsenal, £105 million. Even beat Manchester City to the signing. So
I don't know if you beat Manchester City to the signing because this was already wrapped up. I don't know why Man City tried to pretend like they were interested in Declan Rice. I don't think they were ever interested in him at all. However, I think the club, I mean, I don't know because I don't know why. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But what I will say, though, you were talking about Havertz being the replacement to Xhaka.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Havertz. It's Rice. When you look at that midfield of Partey, Rice, Odegaard, now your midfield is saying something. That's your Caicedo signing right there. If you didn't get Caicedo, you needed to get a Rice.
I don't think Rice is coming in to play 8. I'll be surprised if he is. I know he can play that position.
He's up and
I don't
down,
think
man. He's box to box. I think he can. I'll be surprised. So what is he coming in to play then?
6. He's coming in to play Thomas Partey's position because apparently the club are open to letting Partey.
Is he disciplined enough to do that?
What, the 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the role that he plays for West Ham. The 6. He's more. Well, he used to be a centre back, didn't he, Declan Rice? So he's more of a defensive-minded midfielder than what he is an attacking midfielder. But he is box to box. You're right. He can go to the other end and score. So yeah.
I think if Arsenal, Declan Rice for me is a statement of intent. I criticised you guys in January for bringing in Trossard, Jorginho, and Kivio, and I said you guys lost the league with those signings. Declan Rice is a statement of intent. That's the sort of player that you expect Arsenal to be going in for and winning. And the fact that you guys are prepared to spend 105 mil means that maybe you guys have learned your lesson. Alongside Declan Rice, you need 2 other players. For me, you need a proper striker. You need a striker that can get 20 goals. You cannot win the league without a 20-goal type striker. I said it before, I say it again, and I had some dusty Arsenal fans lying. I said, if you had a Harry Kane, you would have won the league. Let's just be real.
Just while you're on that point, because you're saying about we need a striker, and I agree 100%. I agree 100% that if Arsenal do not go out and sign a striker, then we're making a massive mistake. Having said that, though, there's a lot of Arsenal fans that are pinning their hopes on Balogun. I don't know if you followed Balogun.
Yeah, he's had a good season in France.
He had a very good season out there in France.
He deserves a chance. He's better than Nketiah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So could Balogun be our 20-goal a season striker? Again, it's a massive risk.
Do you know what? What I would like to see, and maybe I have a vested interest because my son is, he plays football, and I'm getting to see the other end of what the academy systems are like and this and that. Balogun, he went out on loan and he banged in goals. He deserves a shot at the first team. Now, for me, he's more certified than Nketiah. So Balogun could be, and why not? I like to see homegrown be given an opportunity to have a shot. If not Balogun, though, then you've got to be looking at the Juve striker. I think someone put it in the chat.
Vlahovic.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. That is the kind of levels. You bring someone like that in, now, Declan Rice, Vlahovic, then you need just one more player to just solidify. I don't think Havertz is that big game player. I think you need a left back, to be honest. I really do. Mohamed Zishan, the kind of Zisha he's smoking a strong one, because he's put the Arsenal first 11 and he's put Zinchenko in that first 11. And Zinchenko is dead food, in my opinion. I would rather see Tierney start. But if you can upgrade and get a Cancelo type, then I think Arsenal legitimately mount a serious challenge this season.
Interesting, because I don't rate Cancelo that highly.
You don't rate Cancelo?
I rate him. I rate him when he's like attacking. As an attacking fullback, and the role that he'd be playing at Arsenal. Yeah, I rate him going forward, but defensively, he's just as bad as Zinchenko.
Fair play.
That's the only thing that I have with him. But yeah, no, I personally would prefer to see Tierney myself than what I would Zinchenko. But it's clear to see that ain't ever going to be a thing. And I agree, we do need another player alongside a Declan Rice. Because let's say, for example, that Kai Havertz comes in, doesn't hit the ground running. Then who have you got as your backup there that'd like to play in the 8 role? Fabio Vieira, who's been dog shit for us. You know, you can't trust him. Then who have you got after that? Emil Smith-Rowe. You can't trust him either because he picks up too many injuries. He spent most of last season out injured. So I do feel like we need another 8. Or if you're not going to get an 8, go out and get a 6. Someone like a Lavia from.
I love that guy. Lavia.
We've been heavily linked to him as well.
He's legit.
Even why not? You know, it's not done yet. Why not? If you're a real serious football club, go in and say, look, Caicedo, we're still open, bro.
If you had Caicedo, Declan Rice, Odegaard, it's a wrap. Now, and then a striker, because you still need the striker. And then for me, you know, Natstar, good shout with Rico Henry. You get a Rico Henry, mate, then Arsenal, now if Arsenal don't challenge for the title, then you're looking at Arteta's job. And then, you know, the Havertz, the Trossards of this world, I guess you kind of need those type of players because you're going to be mounting Champions League. You can't be playing your first team in the Carabao and the FA Cup the way you guys disrespect it. So they'll get enough game time. But you definitely need at least 3 big game players, you know, and that's what we want to see from Arsenal. Then, as a Spurs fan, I sit up and I shit myself.
What about another player we're being linked to at the moment, Milinkovic-Savic?
Yeah, that's hard. He's hard from Lazio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's hard.
Yeah, so that's
you bring that in. You bring that in, and then you guys are really rolling back the years. Let's be real. Last season shocked everybody. And it ain't a given that you guys are going to be challenging this season. I actually had it down that if Pochettino gets it right, Liverpool are back. Let's just be real. City are going to do what City does. And I know I've been cussing Manchester United, but let's be real. Eric Ten Hag is going to have that Man U team in the top 4. If you don't get your signings right, you could finish 5th. That's legit. You could finish 5th. I'm not saying you're going to finish 5th, but if Chelsea get it right, Liverpool get it right, we ain't talked about Newcastle yet. You got United and you got City. Someone's coming out, bro. Someone's coming out.
Just the last topic that I want to kind of just touch on a little bit before we go. Guys who are watching, make sure you're smashing up the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And also, go and follow Deji on Instagram. Deji Spurs. Go and follow him on Twitter as well. You need to sort yourself out a channel, bro. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, no, it's one of the things that's coming this season. You know, Brandon, I hope you jump on as well. We'll have
100%. 100%.
Definitely, there's going to be shows coming. I'm going to be tearing up people's timelines. More statements, more debates, and more analysis. Do you get what I'm saying? It's going to be more constant for the new season. Why not? I think we enjoy it. I think this is a great platform. And, you know, some of us were bold. I made a bold statement at the beginning of last season, and it happened in reverse. Some reverse judge actually happened to me. I said Arsenal to finish 8th, with Newcastle and Aston Villa finishing above them. It ended up that the reverse judge hit me right in my face. Spurs actually bloody finished 8th, with Newcastle and Villa finishing above Spurs. So I was wrong, but I wasn't. It sounded like a crazy statement, but in the end it happened. But it happened to my club. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The last subject that I wanted to touch on is, of course, the man, Harry Kane. Now, number one, the last time we did a stream together, I very, very vaguely remember you saying that if Harry Kane is at Tottenham come the first game of the season, that you will boo him. That's part one, right?
Yeah.
But are you surprised that not many teams have came in for Harry Kane. Like, there's only talk about Manchester United potentially wanting him if they get the Qataris to take over in time. Bayern Munich have offered £60 million for Harry Kane, but apart from
Bayern
that,
Munich are not serious. They can suck themselves.
apart from that, nobody else is really shown a massive interest in Harry Kane. Does that surprise you?
No, it's not that no one's showing a massive interest. What you got to understand is that Levy kind of is almost like a drama, but he lives up to his own hype, if you know what I mean. So everybody knows that Harry Kane is not leaving Spurs for less than 120 mil. And Levy is the type of guy that if push came to the fortunate thing that we have with Kane that we didn't have with Gareth Bale is that Gareth Bale stopped playing for Spurs. Just like Eriksen. Remember, Eriksen stopped playing. Eriksen, at the time we sold him, was worth about 60 mil. We ended up selling Eriksen 20 mil to Inter Milan. Why? Because he stopped playing, and it was better to get something than nothing. The difference is, though, and big up to Kane for this, and everyone should put some respect on his name, is that Kane is such a professional that he's not going to throw his toys out the pram. If you don't sell me, he's still going to play. He's still going to bang and go. If Kane had just the season that Man City, he didn't get the Man City move, he could have just said, you know what, I'm not playing. We would have sold him. We would have sold him in Jan. But because he went on to score 30 goals, it's like, we're going to try and keep him. However, Kane has played this, it's checkmate. Because we know as Spurs fans, he's gone. So it's Tottenham now. You got the opportunity to get 80 or 90 mil for Kane, or he's going for nothing. And that's what he's done. So he's checkmate Levy. Levy's not winning here. Because even if Kane stays and he scores another 30 goals, woohoo. He scored another 30 goals. We still got no trophy. We're not in the Champions League. Who loses out? Kane or Spurs? It's Spurs. So if Levy was sensible, so Levy is looking for 120 mil, and everyone's backed off and said, you know what? Let's all scramble for him next season. And it's quite smart. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, they're just dumb. There is no way in hell England's main marksman, arguably the best striker in world football after Haaland, and I would even put Kane ahead of Haaland. I'm not going to lie. I'll put him ahead of Haaland. I don't think Haaland scores 30 goals in the Spurs team. But Kane scores 50 goals in that Man City team, 100%. And so the best striker in world football, and you want to get him for 70 mil.
Do you not think there's something behind that, though? Like, I kind of looked on that and I thought, okay, if at the moment they're offering 60 mil. If they was to up that to, say, 70, 75 mil, yeah, I would look on that. If I was Daniel Levy, I would look on that and say, maybe, because you got to think about it, Dej, right? Yeah. You're saying that he shouldn't be going for any less.
He's worth more than that in shirt sales, bro.
Yeah, maybe. But my point is, if he, like you just pointed out, if he doesn't sell him now, then he'll just go on a free next summer. And he will more than likely end up at a Chelsea, a Man United, somebody like that, who's one of your main rivals. Surely you're better off getting £75 million for him now and shipping him out to Germany where he can't hurt you.
Yeah.
Like, surely that makes sense.
No, because he'll just get brought back to the Prem the season after. Let me tell you what it is, bro. I hear what you're saying. This is you mean Havertz is worth more than Kane?
No, I never said that.
No, but that's what, if we sold him for 60 mil, that's what we're saying to them.
No, I said if Bayern Munich can up that to about 75, 80 million pounds.
Let me tell you, if Bayern Munich are serious, I'm telling you now, if Daniel Levy got an offer of 120 mil, he's out the door. I said, remember I said it before. I said if Chelsea came in for Spurs and offered us 120 mil. He's a Chelsea player. Yeah, it makes sense. The quality that you're getting, guaranteed 30 goals. He hits the ground running for the next 3 seasons, bro. You can't put a price on that. That price is 100 mil. So Spurs are not saying they won't sell. They want to sell at the right price. And what they're doing is they're doing what I'd say is the old thing. Because he's 29, 30, you can't spend 100 mil. No, you can. These players, they last in long. Ronaldo's 38 years old, bro, and he's still playing the striker. He ain't dropped to midfield. He's still up top, mate. Yeah, the fact is, the legs, Lewandowski, he's 36, bro. They're still playing. Kane's 29. That means there's another 6 seasons in the big league, at least. So now when you think about it like that, is 100 mil, 120 mil unreasonable? Because the only reason why you would think it's unreasonable is because you're thinking he's maybe got a season left or 2. No, Kane's got 5 or 6 seasons left in the tank. And therefore, we can't accept anything less. And I agree. That's the one thing I agree with him on. I'm ready for Kane to go, but at the right price. And the right price is 120 mil.
Okay. And that's a decent place to wrap up the show, people. On your way out, make sure you're slapping up the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And big up yourself, Dej. Appreciate you coming on, as always. It's been a good little debate. We're going to have to make this a weekly thing, bro. Everybody in the chat, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, all the guys that were in the chat, putting in your comments, slating off Dej.
My best friend, Mohammed Zishan, just giving me hell in the chat. All good. Funny.
And I will be back at some point tomorrow. I'll be dropping a video. It'll either be a pre-record or a live, depending on obviously what happens in the transfer window. We should get some more news on the Declan Rice deal and the Timber deal. Maybe we'll find out who this one top signing that Arteta is also targeting after these deals is tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. But yeah, big up yourselves. I'm out of here. Dej is out of here. And we'll see you guys soon.